all for the Class A girls basketball tournament, and now this is it tonight. But we should have a lot of fun. Cavalier and Northwood coming up in a couple of minutes for third place, and then Dunseith and Edgeley for the state championship, and a lot of folks already buzzing about that matchup.
That is correct. It's going to be an interesting game the way that one unfolds, I think, and here's the way that these two teams have got into the championship title night. Last night it was Edgeley over Northwood by the score of 64-56, and then Dunseith with a tremendous first half, topping Cavalier 86-78.
This afternoon, or rather coming up shortly, Northwood against Cavalier for third place. Northwood coming into that game 21-4, Cavalier 20-6. And then a little later on, Edgeley against Dunseith. Edgeley finished the season ranked second in the state, and Dunseith third. This afternoon in consolation play, a couple of darn good ball games, Lee. Ray beat Readers 75-72 for the consolation championship, and for seventh place, Minnewacan nipped Enderlin 69-67.
I think this third place one, as most third place games are, should be kind of like that.
Yeah.
Exciting, up and down basketball.
We'll talk a little bit more about the Northwood Cavalier matchup, but first we would like you to meet a couple of our personnel on the floor.
Thanks, Dan. I'm Rob Meltzer. This is John Cole. John, both clubs played their hearts out in losing efforts last night. We don't know what they're going to have tonight.
Rob, you have to wonder if there's any more gas left in those tanks, I guess. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be a very, very exciting contest. Both clubs want to leave the State B here in Minot with a win. You know, that's what they came here to do, win, and they want to leave with a W.
Troy Enger for Northwood needs to stay out of foul trouble. Paul Hassler needs to contribute more. Cavaliers side, they want all of their big three going: Steve Dan, Shane Robinson, and Bill Watson.
Well, those two guys posed the question, will there be any gas left in the tank? I think there's going to be quite a bit left, because 7 of the 10 starters between these two ball clubs are seniors. And you know those guys are going to reach deep down for one last gut check.
That is correct. They want to go out with the win, because there's only 4 teams in the entire state that can say that we won our last game of the season. It doesn't happen very often.
Well, here's a couple of guys you want to keep your eye on early in this basketball game. On the left, Bill Watson. He responded big last night, 28 points, 10 rebounds. He has 34 points in the tournament so far. And a guy that we think is real key for Northwood tonight, Paul Hassler. He has not had a great tournament. He came into this tournament with a big average, 19 points, but he's averaged just 12 in the 2 tournament games. 13 points last night, but just 4 of 16 from the field. And I think he's key to Northwood's success tonight.
I would think that Hassler will have a little bit better ball game as well, because you mentioned the senior factor, and Enger has had a big ball game, and I think that's something that you expect out of him, and I think we'll see it again tonight. But for Northwood, Hassler, the guard, will be one of the keys.
Of course, Troy Enger fouled out of last night's game in his battle with Alan Anderson, and John Hutchison, the Northwood coach, very upset on those last 2 calls that Enger took that really left him out of the game. John Hutchison, not a happy man last night.
No, he came off the bench a couple of times, and it was almost time to take off the jacket. He didn't like him, but nonetheless, it was called, and that happens, you know. In the game of basketball, everything does not go as you would like it, which is why these teams are in our third place contest this evening.
Northwood is the Region 2 champion, and Cavalier the Region 3 championship. 2 very much veteran-dominated teams, and should be a lot of fun. We're going to have a darn good crowd tonight, by far the best crowd so far this tournament. Of course, Mother Nature had something to say about that, especially on Thursday, but it looks like the Dome will be packed tonight.
Yeah, there's been people filtering in for about the last hour and a half now, getting to their seat and getting all set for this one. But yeah, the wicked snow, and it's not a march. It's not the March Madness part of it, unless you get a little bit of snow, a little bit of ice and slush to go along with it. It just kind of adds to the flavor.
Well, Cavalier last night went against Dunseith in a man-to-man situation, and the guy that really had a tough time of it was Mike Mahar. And it'll be interesting to see if Mahar draws the assignment on Enger tonight, as I would suspect, and to see how he comes out in terms of confidence defensively, what happened last night against Mark Wilson and Dunseith.
Well, Mike just got out-muscled, and there's not much you can do about that. Then Steve Dan, a little bit stronger, but then he had to go down inside and play down low. But I think the Mahar matchup, along with Enger, if they're able to isolate Enger without much help from either the front side or back side, depending on which way Mahar is going to sit, in front or back, will be a big key. Because I think Enger's, he's definitely has the talent to do it.
No doubt about it. He had 19 points last night. On the tournament, he's averaging 23 points a game. That's in his first couple of games, and along with that, 7 rebounds. So Troy Enger definitely headed for an all tournament team spot.
Yeah, I don't think he really needs to play this last game and still be on that team. He's really, really played well. Senior at 6'4". The thing about Inger that I like stat-wise coming in is he's on the season is making 60% of his shots from the floor. That's just flat impressive. That means that you're doing the work away from the basketball to get yourself into position to get the good shots.
Well, and he comes into this game as the 4th highest scorer in the tournament. Even coming into this game, Steve Dan, through 2 games, had 57 points, and Corey Connecta Enderlin, the leading scorer in the tournament through 3 games. Connecta had an outstanding tournament, 74 total points in his 3 games.
And Dan, if you weren't with us on Thursday, well, you missed something there, because every once in a while, as a basketball player, you get yourself into what they call the zone when everything is working. Well, it worked for Dan to the tune of 38 points in the opening round game against Enderlin.
I want to take you now to our public address announcer, Larry Lauser, for the introduction of players for tonight's 3rd place game.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this, the final night of your 1990 State Class B basketball tournament. We welcome you here to the Dome on the beautiful campus of Minas State University and hope you enjoyed your stay in the Magic City. Wearing their dark uniforms will be the Tornadoes of Cavalier, their team host, Kim Elbert. Wearing the light uniforms will be the Trojans of Northwood and their team host, Bill Kolb. Head coach of the Tornadoes is Jim Bali. Head coach of the Trojans, John Hutchinson. Introducing the starting lineups. Starting at a guard, he stands 6 foot tall. The senior number 35, Steve Dan. A Trojan guard is a 6 foot 1 inch senior. He wears number 12, Paul Hassler. The other guard for the Tornadoes, he's 5'10", the senior number 11, Shane Robinson. The other Trojan guard is a 6 foot 1 inch senior, wearing number 32, Brian Overby. A Tornado forward, he's an even 6 feet tall, a senior wearing number 15, Bill Watson. A Trojan forward, he's 6'1", a junior number 34, Aaron Runsvet. The other forward for the Trojan, or for the Tornadoes, is a 6 foot junior wearing number 33, Ron Steiger, or Randy Steiger. A forward for the Trojans, he's 6'4", the senior number 44, Troy Inger. The center for the Tornadoes, he's an even 6 feet tall, the senior number 23, Mike Mahar. The center for the Trojans is 6'1", the junior number 30, Shan Thorstensen. The assistant coach of the Tornadoes, Rod Oxendahl, assistant coach of the Trojans, Randy Hychek. Would everyone please remain standing. Remove all headgear. Place your hand over your heart as the colors will be presented by the Monsignor J.J. Rath Assembly of 4th Degree Knights of Columbus under the direction of faithful navigator Robert Richter. The anthem will then be sung by the Park River Boys Quartet, Doug Johnson, Doran Sheldon, Mike Sika, and Kevin Onstead.
by dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Home of the brave.
It's tip-off time. Northwood and Cavalier coming up.
Chevy's got the winning spirit, and we're proving it every day on the tracks and on the streets. Right now, nobody is winning like you are. Pick your favorite Chevy and get 6.9% APR financing for 48 months or up to $1,200 cash back. West Dakota, you're winning with spectacular 6.9% financing or cash back with Lumina, Caprice, Beretta, S10 pickups, and more. Get your share of the winning spirit at your West Dakota Chevy dealers.
Celebrate Country Spirit Days at your Senex Orlando Lakes Cooperative with these great sale prices. Save now on motor oil, sale priced at 99 cents a quart. Replace your battery with a new Silver Bullet battery featuring 850 cold cranking amps, and make tracks with a Solar 400 tire on sale for as low as $29.95. Plus, register to win a Case IH tractor, the grand prize drawing in the Country Spirit Days sweepstakes. For great Country Spirit Days values, see your Senex Orlando Lakes Cooperative.
Welcome back to the Minot State Dome, where our third place contest just about ready to start. John Muckenhern and Mike Byer will be the officials for this contest.
The telecast of these tournament games has been authorized by special arrangement with the Board of Directors of the North Dakota High School Activities Association.
So it's the Trojans and the Tornadoes, and Northwood will get the first chance at it. Hassler, Thorstensen, Overby, Rondesvet, and Enger, the five on the court in the white uniforms. First shot of the game is up and in. Aaron Rondesvet.
You know, Rondesvet has had a quiet tournament, too. We talked about Paul Hassler, but coming into this tournament, Rondesvet averaged 10. He's had a cumulative total of 10 in the first two games.
And before we can tell you who the five are playing, Watson throws one up that went short, but it's Robinson, Watson, Mahar, Steiger, and Dan for Cavalier. And this is the color of the uniform that number 35 there just went nuts in the opening round.
He did.
So here's Dan. Hey, we're tied up. That's a three-pointer for Steve Dan at 19 points, 8 assists in the game against Dunseith last night. Hey, we're starting from outside. That one doesn't go, but Overby will get the follow-up. So Brian Overby, the assist leader. In fact, a couple of players who do a fine job of passing the basketball. One has it right now. That was Robinson, number 11, as he gets it back and drives. The other one, Overby, tries to flip one up underneath. But Troy Enger, the leading rebounder and leading scorer for this Northwood team, pulls down the board.
Robinson really likes that scoop, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's worked for him in this tournament so far. Hey, let's try from three again. It will not go. Tipped out of bounds, and it will go to Cavalier.
A battle of three-point attempts so far. Both these teams are willing to let her rip from long-range land.
5-3, Northwood with the early lead. Cavaliers with the ball, beating Enderlin 73-67 in the opening round game. And then Dunseith, the Dragons, with a first half And what a first half it was.
It's about as well as a team can play, I think. Shot 70%, just didn't make any mistakes in that first half.
That's phenomenal. That one's blocked away from Dan. Overby tips it, and it's off of Overby's fingers. Trying to run it down there with Steiger, but he will now inbound. Dan working baseline, double team. That one was deflected, I think. The pass ahead, knocked by Watson, but Inger runs it down. Here's a quick shot up and off the glass for Shad Thorstensen. So 3 players for Northwood in the scorebook.
And I think the key thing about that is that Rondesvet and Thorstensen have scored early here. And when Northwood can get all 5 players involved in the offense, they do well.
Whistle and a foul underneath at the 5:56 mark. And it's on number 32, Overby. Triggering underneath will be Dan, averaging over 18 points a game. He shoots 53% from beyond the 3-point circle.
That's uncanny.
That's tremendous. Robinson dishing, deflected, Cavalier keeps.
Well, so far Northwood playing zone defense here early on. We've seen a lot, mostly man out of the Trojans so far in the tournament, up until tonight.
Watson had a fine night last night. All the way around to Dan. We talked about his 3-pointers, but that one went short. Rondesvet with a board. Now Overby will come between the circles and set the offense. Talked about how they would attack or try to stop Enger inside, and that's why the 3-pointers are open.
Yeah, they're wide open.
Robinson tries to flip a pass over to Mahar, but it's knocked away.
Following up on that thought a little bit, both Rondesvet and Hassler have had 4 or 5 feet uncontested 3-point attempts here early, as Cavalier really sagging down in the middle.
Robinson drives. It went off the foot of Hassler. Enger ahead to Overby. Can Robinson catch up? Yes, he can.
Heck of an effort by Shane Robinson. Here's a guy who operates close to the floor anyway. Even when he has the ball in hand, he operates close to the floor, and he gets down low here and just sweeps in low for the near steal.
If that was wood, there'd be a few pieces of skin on it, I think.
Man.
Overby, that 3-point attempt is short. And so the Tornadoes will come away with it. Northwood up by 4. Our 3rd place contest to the B. Northwood 21-4, Cavalier 20-6 at this stage of the season. Our final line of basketball for this year. Doesn't really seem like it, does it?
No, it doesn't. These 2 weeks between the A and B just fly by.
Lob pass was high. Overby into the corner. Not wasting any time with his shot. Rondesvet. Now Robinson again. Dan takes baseline. Over Enger. High archer. Does not go. Rebound. Watson. He leads the team in that, but the follow-up didn't go. Overby will bring it up now.
See Shane Robinson trying to put a little more pressure on Hassler and Rondesvet in comparison to the way he was defending them early in the Cavalier defense.
In the corner, that is Rondesvet. I think Northwood wants to get the ball inside. And as I say that, there goes 3 more. Rondesvet, he has 6. 6 of the team's 10, and both of them from outside the 19-9.
Well, that's got to put a smile on the face of John Hutchison. Rondesvet really struggled offensively here Thursday and Friday, and now 6 quick ones in the first quarter.
Watson gives to Dan, and Dan hits for 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 baskets in this game. 4 of them 3-pointers. Rondesvet staying on the baseline, tried to get the pass back to Enger, but he wasn't there. Here comes Robinson now. Long pass ahead, but Overby says no. Overby against everyone. Does not go, and a whistle underneath, and a foul.
Watch Brian Overby actually going against the percentages here. A 2-on-3, nearly a 2-on-4 is all it was for Northwood. And Thorstensen comes over the back.
At 3:03 left of quarter number 1, Northwood leads it by 4. We're coming back right after you see this.
Need a full-size pickup or a new GMC Suburban? Well, head to your North Star GMC truck dealer for fantastic cashback deals. Get $750 cash back or 6.9 APR financing on the GMC Sierra pickup. Full-size inside, full-size outside. Or for truck-size roominess and passenger car luxury, it's the GMC Suburban with $1,500 cash back or 6.9 APR financing. But you gotta hurry, because they won't last long. Only at your North Star GMC truck dealer.
Men, look at John Deere's visibility to the front wheels.
Ooh, Deere has an excellent view of the crop, sir.
So what are we going to do about it?
We're working on a paradoxical periscope with equal view to both front wheels, sir.
Deere's Sound Guard body has an excellent view to the rear drawbar, too, sir.
So what are we doing about that rear view?
You know what to do. Turn to your John Deere dealer.
Welcome back to the Dome, where it's Northwood and Cavalier, and happy St. Patty's Day, everyone. I'm Lee O'Timmerman, and this is Dan O'Hammer.
I don't have a stretch or a stripe of green on me today. Not a thread.
Dan wants another three-pointer, and it doesn't go. And so far, Northwood doing a fine job on the glass.
One of the things Cavalier wants to do defensively is try to cut down that lob, and that's was taken away effectively last night by Edgley. You saw Alan Anderson really come up with quite a few key steals early that took that lob away.
Yeah, Anderson said he was waiting on that one back there, and you could tell. Speaking of waiting on a pass is Watson, but he gets it back to Inger. Inger can't hit, and Robinson wants to run. Here's Shane, taking it in himself, all the way up and in. He's opted for the pass most of the time.
Well, Robinson had Watson and Maher came running back after the bucket with a big smile on his face like, heck, we didn't need to be on the wings. Robinson was going to take that from the word go.
Yeah, he wanted all of it. Hassler playing a little catch. Now Hassler comes in for the shot, fading away. Rondesvet, but he was called for a walk as he tried to get the shot up.
Aaron Rondesvet, one of 3 juniors on the court right now for both these teams. Chad Thorstensen, a junior, and Randy Steiger, a junior for Cavalier.
Watson on the base. The left-hander is short. He gets his own rebound back. Uncontested second time around for Bill Watson. 28 points in the game last night, 10 rebounds. First 2 this evening. Ties it up at 10. Here's Inger coming out high, now giving back to Rondesvet. Overby looking. Northwood still passing the perimeter. Most of their shots from outside. That's a double team shot up and in by Troy Inger. Tough to get the pass when you're double teamed, but Inger at 6'4", when he does get it there, it's been effective.
Jason Askew in the game for Cavalier. He's been instant offense the last couple nights. Let's see if they go to him. No.
Robinson says, well, let's shoot a 3, and next time I'll pass it to Jason. Askew, number 41, by the way, junior at 6 foot. And he comes out to halt the momentum of Overby. Fronting and backing Inger. So they're very conscious of the man inside, but that leaves Thorstensen open, and he gets the basket.
Well, you hit it right on the head there as a couple of Cavalier defenders sagging on low on Inger, but that leaves the other side of the blocks open.
Under 30 seconds to play in quarter number 1. Close contest for you here. Cavalier with a 2-pointer will tie this thing. The way the 3-pointers have been going in, I wouldn't be surprised if they have the lead when the horn sounds.
Seems like the thing to do this quarter. Tee it up.
Robinson out to Dan, 7 seconds now. Robinson at 4. Dan will try for 3, and he gives Cavalier the lead at the buzzer. So Steve Dan with his 3rd 3-pointer of the first quarter. It's 15-14 in our 3rd place game.
It's happening now. Spring price meltdown. Spring savings on America's best-selling cars. Save on Ford Escort LX, Tempo GL, Taurus GL. Spring price meltdown. 6.9 financing. Or up to $1,000 cash back. Hurry, it won't last. See your Northland Ford dealer.
Call most places after hours and you may not get quite the answer you're looking for. At Norwest Banks, we don't think service should stop at 5 o'clock. That's why we're now on call 24 hours a day to handle your banking needs. Norwest Banks. Come to expect the best.
My guest, Bill Thorwaldson, a member of the last Cavalier team to play in the state Class B tournament, 1941. Bill, what are your memories of getting a chance to play in that tournament?
Oh, that was probably the highlight of my life. And the low part, too, because I missed the layup.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a long wait now, and they finally made it back here. How has the game changed quickly in your eyes?
Oh, it's a lot faster, and they're better, and the scores are much higher.
All right, Bill, thanks for joining us. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Well, maybe they played better defense.
Hey, it could
back
be.
in 41.
Shooting percentages, Cavalier 40%, Northwood 43. That shouldn't alarm anybody, though, because 6 of the 11 field goal attempts were three-pointers. And anytime you're around 40% three-pointers, that's darn good.
Foul to start this quarter, second quarter. It was Thorstensen, number 2 on him. Enger came in and blocked a shot, but Thorstensen in from the side is where it was called, and that puts Mahar on the free throw line. First free throw so far in this game. Maybe they're too close at 15 feet.
I think so. We'll see.
Well, it'll back up a little ways. That's the way they've been going in this one.
Mahar, a 70% free throw shooter, struggled from the field in this tournament. Just 3 of 12 from the field.
Well, the backside of the two-shot goes for Mahar, and that gives Cavalier a 2-point lead. Early stages of quarter number 2. It's our third place game across the North Dakota NBC Sports Network. As Overby pumps from 15. That one rolls out. Dan will get the rebound, and he will run with it now. Steve Dan. Off glass, it's a hard, it's strong, and that's Enger slapping it away.
Troy Enger from behind the play. Got a good angle on that ball, even though he was behind the play. Now Mark Korsmo checks into the Northwood lineup right there, number 42.
Mark has to play some tough defense, and it doesn't take him long to pick up the bump and the foul. Mark is senior at 6 foot. That's personal foul number 1 on him. Team's 4th. Cavalier has yet to foul in this contest, and Bill Watson will go to the line for deuce. Free throw is good by Watson. Leads the team in steals, leads the team in blocks, as well as scoring points and rebounding.
And he's done a good job rebounding in the tournament so far. 18 rebounds for the first 2 games. Thursday he didn't score a lot, but he helped out big time on the boards for Cavalier.
And 8, so consistent on the glass too. Offensive end. The Trojans of Northwood using the perimeter. That's Hassler now to Enger. Enger inside. It's partially deflected and threw off his timing as he went up for the shot. Robinson. Watson drives, has the lane, left hands it in and draws the foul. So Bill Watson, it wasn't a very big lane, but he found it.
Watson did the nice job of finding the seam in the defense. You can see pretty much a clear alley to the bucket there.
And that's number 2 on Korsmo. So Mark does not like his start in this one. Chance for the conventional 3-point play for Watson. And you can give it to him. Thorstensen is back into the contest now, and Korsmo will have a rest. So the original starting 5s for both of these. Nope, I take that back. Jason Askew still in there.
Take a look at Cavalier in terms of defending Troy Enger. Watson and Dan are both down there, fronting and backing him.
And there's a whistle as Thorstensen was pushed. That'll be the first team foul against the Tornadoes.
on the boards. A lot of fouls you'll see called in this situation.
Has the hand on the small of the back. A little shove when you're in the air, you'll get a call just about every time. Overloading left side. Now evening things up on the offensive side is Hassler with his shot that's short. Thorstensen is feasting on the rebound edge right now as there's almost two guys on Inger wherever he goes.
And Thorstensen taking advantage of that. That time having good position on that guy, Jason Askew. And Askew wanted a piece enough badly. He went up very physically, but at the same time really hammering Shad Thorstensen.
Thorstensen short, a 47% free throw shooter on the years. Shad in the win over Milwaukee had 8 points and 8 rebounds. Second one is good. 5 points for Thorstensen, trailing Rondesvet by a point as far as team high honors go. Long pass ahead. Watson controls it. Shovels one to Askew, and it will go for Jason Askew. 10 points in game number 1, 8 points yesterday, so Jason a spark off the bench.
If they handed out a six-man award for the tournament, I don't think it'd be any question to go to Jason Askew for the work he's done off the bench.
Hassler and Overby. Lob pass, Thorstensen inside. Whoops, that's air. Back out front to Overby. Now the man who saved it gets it back and goes inside to Inger. Inger gets one to float in, so Troy Inger now has 4. Clock and a move, 5:45 of quarter number 2.
Second time down now where Northwood has shown a 2-2-1 full court pressure.
Robinson in the lane. Mahar blocked by Thorstensen.
Mahar got a nice move on Inger to get him up in the air, but then Thorstensen was there to answer.
There's the pass inside to Thorstensen. The head and shoulder fake works for him. 7 points now for the junior.
Well, they're doing a good job on Inger, but Thorstensen is really cashing in on his chances.
23-19 the score. Cavalier does lead. They have the ball. Now Robinson. Watson lobs one. Mahar dishes over to Askew. It's blocked, but Hassler got part of the arm.
A lot of head fakes done on the blocks. First you see Mahar getting Rondesvet up in the air. Then instead of taking the shot, he dishes, and Askew gets Hassler up in the air.
Askew, a 61% free throw shooter. He's a junior. We've talked about him and his ability to come off the bench for Coach Bawley. And that one will fall in off the left side. %61% on the year for Askew. And the second one is good as well, and that gives his team a 6-point lead. We'll be back to the MSU Dome in just a couple of moments.
Chevy's got the winning spirit, and we're proving it every day on the tracks and on the streets. Right now, nobody is winning like you are. Pick your favorite Chevy and get 6.9% APR financing for 48 months or up to $1,200 cash back. West Dakota, you're winning with spectacular 6.9% financing or cash back with Lumina, Caprice, Beretta, S10 pickups, and more. Get your share of the winning spirit at your West Dakota Chevy dealers.
Acme Electric, tool crib of the North.
If you're a dedicated do-it-yourselfer, try the Delta 15-inch scroll saw, specially designed for the hobbyist. Or choose the Delta 1-inch belt sander. It does so much, it's almost unfair to call it a sander. From Acme Electric, the largest tool house in the Northwest, with stores in Grand Forks, Fargo, Bismarck, and Minot.
Acme Electric, tool crib of the North.
Basketball and babies here at the MSU Dome. We've seen a lot of the youngsters getting a taste of what it's like at a State B.
What is it, a penny for each year of their age to get into this place or something? There's been a lot of youngsters here lately.
There has been a bunch. Overby on the offensive side looks to, he's now back to the wing, so Overby will start it again. Rondesvet, he's had 2 3-pointers so far. That one doesn't go. Watson clears the board to Robinson now. Robinson Offensive foul. The basket went down. I don't think they'll count it, but it will be a foul on Robinson.
Well, Shane Robinson being aggressive at the very least tonight, going to the hoop. This is the second time we've seen him take it by himself on the break when he's also had some help.
That little dip of the left shoulder is what done him in on that particular instance. Enger spins with a pass to Watson as Thorstensen was going for the board. He thought Enger was going to shoot it. Mahar will shoot it from 14. Mike Mahar, his first field goal, he has 3. 27-19. Certainly get the sense sitting here courtside, Dan, that the fans are waiting for that championship game, aren't they?
No doubt about it, Lee. This place is pretty well packed, and it's quiet in here for a big crowd.
On the drive, and a nice one. That's a Brian Overby. 4 for him now.
Beauty of a move by Brian Overby to go under the defense and then come back up with it.
Quickly on the other end. That pass is picked off by Overby. It was intended for Mahar, so now Overby will bring it up himself at the 3.5-minute mark. We're in quarter number 2. Another lob pass to Thorstensen. Boy, Shad's really, he's getting fat on those, on the box down low.
That because, as we pointed out, Cavalier really overloading in defending Troy Enger.
4-point game. And Hassler with the defense. Diagonal pass back to Hassler. Goes to Enger. Enger blocked by Dan. Now Steve Dan will bring it up. Between his legs and a pass over to Askew. Oh. That's a pretty pass there. 6 for Askew.
Steve Dan doing a nice job of really creating there. On the dribble, doing nice work to penetrate and then dishing it off. Beauty of a play.
Robinson trying to catch up to Hassler. He does cut him off, but the shot is short. Hassler gets it back. And the leading rebounder for the Tornadoes pulls it down. Robinson through stop and go and draw the foul.
The more traffic, the better. Shane Robinson, he just loves to try to weave his way through, doesn't he?
Number 2 on Overby. There's a good look at Robinson, a junior, 5'10". 17 points in the win over Enderlin. Had 10 last night. That one will come off to Rondesvet. So it was a 3-point shooting contest in quarter number 1. Game has gotten closer to the basket here in our second period.
You know, we talked about Paul Hassler getting into the game. So far, he's held scoreless. And the last time he had 2 chances, he went down to the other end very frustrated. You could see it on his face.
Overby. This is a lob into Enger. Enger has to force one up. He was triple teamed, and coming down hard is Robinson. I think he twisted his ankle.
Definitely, his left ankle, and getting up kind of gingerly, but look, yeah, I think he's going to be okay.
Cavalier leads it by 6 as there's a timeout on the court with 1:54 to play in our first half.
Looks like a good day to catch up on some important business, like changing oil and filters. In fact, Cenex brand filters are the only ones I trust to keep this beauty running great. And they make them to fit everything from snowmobiles and motorcycles to cars, trucks, and big farm equipment. Wonder if they make coffee filters. Visit your dealer to get the right Cenex brand filter for your vehicles.
Take my word for it, this is utopia. Am I talking about scenery, harp music, the betterment of man? No, I'm talking burgers. I had the most perfect hamburger in my life here. It was so juicy and delicious, thought I was in heaven, so to speak. Utopia does exist. I've eaten there. And if you ever reach Utopia, take my advice. Order the hamburger. Beef. Real food in Utopia, Texas.
Inbounding the basketball underneath his own bucket will be Overby. Lobs it in. And there's Thorstensen. His shot is strong. And the point guard, Robinson, comes away with it. And he's been all over the place. Watson somehow ends up with it.
Exactly, somehow, because he was surrounded by 3 defenders there.
9 points now for Watson. Cavalier has done a good job of keeping their lead. And that's part of the reason why Robinson upset with himself after the steal. He was unable to control it. He takes a little seat over there.
He's blushing, too.
Mad at himself. Then he falls down in front of everyone.
Seeing Robinson laughing it off.
Under 90 seconds now to play in the half. Here's Hassler. See if he can get on track. Yeah, and he does. That's a three-pointer for Paul Hassler. His first field goal of this game. And Northwood picking up full court again. Long pass ahead to Watson. Breaks it. He'll dump it underneath the Askew. Head and shoulder fake. Inger takes it away. Now the big guy wants to bring it up himself. Slowing and giving to his guard Overby.
Looked pretty confident bringing that ball up, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought he was going to keep going. Three-point attempt, and it's in again for Ron Desvet. He has 9 points, all of them from three-point range.
Ron Desvet and Thorstensen really carrying this basketball team here in the first half.
That makes it a 2-point game, and that will change as Bill Watson goes up and gets fouled. 11 points now for Watson. Well, when it's time to go to the hole, no stopping these two teams.
No, definitely not. We've seen Robinson go strong to the hole a couple times. Now Watson does, and he's got a chance for a three-point play.
Foul is on Thorstensen. Number 2 for him. And Watson's free throw will go. So it's a three-point opportunity for Watson. And coming into the game is Aaron Gabrielson, number 20. He's a freshman at 6'3". So Aaron in for the first time in this state tournament, I believe.
Definitely.
Averaging just a shade under a bucket a game this year for Coach Hutchinson. And on the backdoor play, it doesn't go. Watson with a board at 30 seconds. .23, playing for 1. Last shot, Cavalier, they have the lead. Tornadoes. My favorite nickname, I think.
I like the Tornadoes, you bet.
Dan looking for 3. Now into the 2-point range. Rebound, Mahar, and a jump ball is called at the 2-second mark. Possession arrow belongs to Northwood.
Mahar did a nice job coming down with a rebound, but he was kind of sandwiched between 2 Northwood players and really couldn't do much with it.
Long one hits the bottom of the scoreboard, so that will stop things here at halftime. It's 34-23. Cavalier has the lead.
Chevy's got the winning spirit, and we're proving it every day on the tracks and on the streets. Right now, nobody is winning like you are. Pick your favorite Chevy and get 6.9% APR financing for 48 months or up to $1,200 cash back. West Dakota, you're winning with spectacular 6.9% financing or cash back with Lumina, Caprice, Beretta, S10 pickups, and more. Get your share of the winning spirit at your West Dakota Chevy dealers.
Down 10 yards, turn back. Now break.
Down! No matter how good something is, something always comes along that's better. When it comes to weed control in wheat and barley, it's Harmony Extra, the newest way to tackle your toughest broadleaf weeds.
We are at the half as Northwood and Cavalier playing in our third place contest. Cavalier leads at 34-29. Still to come, the championship game of the Class B. Edgley and Dunseith playing in that contest. Our halftime entertainment, the Jim Dandy Acro Sport Team.
Folks, we're joined now by Michael Kramer of the Minot Gym Dandies. And Mike, what can we expect to see here this evening at halftime?
Well, tonight we're going to have our acro sport team putting on a little show that we hope will be entertaining for everybody in the state of North Dakota, and hopefully here for the big crowd here at the Dome. First thing you're going to see is our opening act. This act is designed to help warm the athletes up, get them ready for what's coming later on in the show. They do a little precision work with some dive rolls.
Now, what's the age group that we're talking about here, Mike?
Okay, we're talking an age group from anywhere from around age 10 to about 16, 17. We have a very relatively young group this year, so we're kind of excited about seeing how they can perform in such a large crowd.
I've seen you folks a couple of times. Every year you seem to get better and better. How do you do it?
A lot of hard work. It takes a lot of support from not only the parents, but the communities, the state of North Dakota, to allow us to come in and do these halftimes at their various tournaments and activities, and a lot of hard work from the kids as well. They got to have a real dedication to come in and practice these routines.
And what a wonderful showcase for your sport as well, correct?
Yes, it is. This is an interesting way for gymnastics to show itself within the state in a little bit different context. Usually we think of gymnastics as 4 events in the Olympics, and we like to show people that no, it isn't. It's a little bit different. You can do a lot of things with gymnastics.
Okay, what's going to happen right now?
Okay, right now we have our younger girls doing a line act. They just did back walkovers. They're going to now go into a sitting position and do their Valdezes in a shadow type or a wave type action. They're quite fired up for this. This is the first time for a lot of those girls to be out in a situation like this. We have some handstand pirouettes taking place right now. That's Marissa Albertson, and behind her is going to be Becky Giesinger. Becky is a Minot High School varsity gymnastics athlete. We have a few girls on the team that participate in gymnastics on the competitive level as well. Some do high school, some do USGF competitive gymnastics.
You folks have gained a lot of notoriety throughout the state. You probably have younger athletes who are dying to get out and join you, right?
Oh yeah, we have a support team we call our Acro 2 sport team.
Kind of a backup unit.
Yeah, our backup unit. They're all the little ones. They're all they all seem to be our little mighty midgets, and they're going out there and they're working their hardest to take these ladies' spots someday. Sure. It's really kind of fun. Most of them are here tonight. They were kind of hanging around with the girls. You know, kind of looking up to them, seeing how it works, and I think all in the back of their minds are hoping that maybe next year when their state tournaments in Minot again, that they'll have a shot at it.
Someday it might be them, in other words.
Yep. We have a couple of seniors on this year's team I'd like to mention. We have, going down the tumbling runway right now is Terry Lynn Zimmelman, and over here we have Dana Weiser. Both these girls have been in the program since about 1977. We like to recognize them because they've been in the program through thick and thin and really have helped us out. Right now we have our long blocks act going. This involves dive rolls, front flips, front handsprings. Gives the girls kind of a chance to do some individual events.
Right.
We have a situation with Dana Weiser, one of our senior girls. I was informed before the show that she's got some aunts and uncles that drove all the way from south of Minneapolis to see the show, so she's kind of fired up about that.
Absolutely.
Now we have some fun flips going over the long blocks. This gets kind of close here. If they are really getting fired up to do this.
Oh.
Yeah. Now we add a layer. Some of these girls are kind of a little nervous about this, but I think they'll pull through pretty good.
I can see why.
Yeah, it's quite high. I figure next year maybe we can get you up there and let them go over you. What do you think of that, Sean?
This is definitely not gym class.
Oh, it is not gym class. Now, right now we have them up on doing headstands, their legs in the straddle position. Some of our older girls are going to try to go over the top of them now. That's Kimmy Svem, one of our USGF girls. That's Becky Bader and Stephanie Nitch.
Tremendous.
All right, looks pretty good. They're getting kind of fired up now. What they're going to be doing now is they're going to be doing what we call our 4 corners act. They're going to show a little tumbling, very fun skills, and they're going to try to do it in a manner that it really looks like it's one unit going after it.
Okay.
We have a couple of real small ones out there, and you'll see later on that we kind of highlight one of our littler girls. We're going to have some fun with it. We'd like to let you know that we do some performances outside the state. We've been invited to to the Minnesota Twins again this summer if we have a season.
Right, we'll have a season, don't we?
All right, that'd be great if we could do that. Right now, they're getting set up for a, if I remember right, we're going to be doing an optional tumbling pass here. The girls are going to be able to show some of their individual tumbling skills. Leading off, I think, will be over on this side will be little Ann Mosted. Over here, we're going to have Jimmy and Carissa. They're just doing some what we call shadow tumbling. They're trying to mimic each other on their skills. We got the back handspring step outs. Another set of back handsprings. Got a back handspring back tuck by one of our ladies. Yeah, we got a back handspring layout. Over here we got a front tumbling pass to a back flip. We got a full twisting somersault over there. And we got a couple of shadow layouts.
Need 2 sets of eyes to follow these ladies.
Yes, yes. Oh, here we got over here our little Mikkel Gehring is, I think she's a pretty good head back handspringer. She's going to do a whole bunch of her. I hope she can last here. Well, looks like she's a little tired. Oh,
how old is she?
Yeah, she's about 9 years old, and she was kind of nervous about doing that act. I think it went quite well for her. She looked like she's having fun. What we have now, we're coming to our ending now. We call this our 4-way mini act, our ending act. We get our girls going over the various boxes in 4 directions. And we're going to see if they can close it up, get pretty tight, and see what we get here. Now they're crisscrossing under each other. It's kind of close here. Got to have a lot of confidence in themselves. I think the crowd is starting to pick up on it now. We got one more go through here and see what we get.
Yeah, you're right, the crowd's picking it up.
Yep, we like that. The girls really feed off of that. They love to come out in front of people and perform. It's really good for them.
Oh.
Yes, that's looking great. All right. All right. Yeah. Now we'll get ready to do our ending. I'd like to thank personally you, John, and the NBC Network for allowing us to come on and helping us out. And thank the tournament. Thank the state of North Dakota. Thank the tournament committee and mine here. It's really been a fun time. We hope to come back someday and do it again. All right.
All right, Mike, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, John. All right.
The Jim Dandy Acro Sport Team, our halftime entertainment, and Cavalier leading at the break.
The shape of the 90s, toned, firm, healthy. And the best place to get that shape is the Grand Forks Racquetball and Tennis Center, because the best club in town has just gotten better. The center has just finished remodeling. There's still the racquetball and tennis courts, but there's also an Eagle fitness system, hundreds of pounds of free weights, an aerobics studio with 5 levels of aerobics classes and a full basketball court. And it's only $20 a month for singles, $30 for families. The Grand Forks Racquetball and Tennis Center for the shape of the 90s. Get into it.
Pride, determination, and working hard to be the very best that we can be. These are just a few of the qualities we try to teach our children. Although we try to guide them in the right direction, children are faced with challenges and decisions they must make on their own. Saying no to drugs may be the biggest challenge they have to face. Let's make a drug-free America, starting right here in North Dakota. Just say no to drugs.
This message brought to you by Nodak Insurance, where belonging makes a difference.
Glaucoma is a potentially blinding disease in which elevated pressure in the eye damages the nerve of vision. Anyone can get glaucoma, but it becomes more and more common with age. Most people with glaucoma have no symptoms at all until they've lost most of their vision. Therefore, regular eye examinations are advised, especially an annual examination for those over 65. This message brought to you by Eye Surgeons Incorporated, Dr. Sudarshan, Gast, Dickin, and Manka, 2100 South Columbia Road, Grand Forks.
If you're interested in covering more acres in less time, you'll want to take a look at the Summers Super Sprayer 3. The Super Sprayer 3 features a 750-gallon tank with a 16-inch fill well and a suspended self-leveling boom in widths of 58, 60, and 66 feet. The big Super Sprayer 3. Field-tested tough from Summers.
viewer mail gets answered. Letters to TV 11. Every Monday on KTHI News 11 at 5.
Welcome back to Minot. I'm Lee Timmerman along with Dan Hammer. And in the first half, these numbers from the way they were bombing outside, Dan, not really too far off, I don't think.
No, not really. Northwood 12 of 31. I guess the alarming thing, if they dig a little deeper into the Northwood stats, is that Paul Hassler just 1 of 8 from the field, and that's got to be a concern for them.
Yeah, because Hassler was one of the players that we talked about early on, and that he needed to probably pick things up to help the team get going, because Inger inside is really still the whole first half being collapsed on.
Definitely. Rebounds pretty even. Cavalier has an edge there, and turnovers 7 for Cavalier. Individually, Shad Thorstensen and Aaron Rondesvet have done a nice job picking up for Northwood. Hassler and Enger held fairly quiet in that first half, and Bill Watson and Steve Dan, the tough 1-2 punch for Cavalier, right on target in the first half.
Well, another tough part of our broadcasting punch is John Cole. Let's go to him.
Thank you, Lee, very much. This is Mike Ness, folks, of Ray High School. Ray won the consolation title this afternoon here at the B with a big one over Reeder. This man's an all-stater at 30 points. I thought you folks battled back and really had a good week after the opening loss to Edgeley, huh?
Yeah, we played really well this weekend, and everyone's really satisfied how we've done so far.
Of course, your senior went out with a big ball game this afternoon. That had to feel pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it was a good one to end on.
This is the first time that the Ray Jays had been to state. Do you think perhaps you were a little bit nervous because you came out and played extremely well the last 2 ball games here?
Yeah, we're a little nervous, but we tried to come out like a regular game, and I don't know, I think we played pretty well.
Still a great experience, though, right?
Yeah, I love it. That was great.
Mike Ness, he's an all-stater from Ray.
All right, thank you, John. We're coming right back as the second half of our third place game is set to begin.
Chevy's got the winning spirit, and we're proving it every day on the tracks and on the streets. Right now, nobody is winning like you are. Pick your favorite Chevy and get 6.9% APR financing for 48 months or up to $1,200 cash back. West Dakota, you're winning with spectacular 6.9% financing or cash back with Lumina, Caprice, Beretta, S10 pickups, and more. Get your share of the winning spirit at your West Dakota Chevy dealers.
A checking plan plus a portfolio positively packed with perks? It's action-packed checking, and it's only at Metropolitan Federal Bank. Take a peek at these prize-winning perks. Travel discounts, free accidental death insurance, credit card registration, no minimum balance requirement, no per check fee, and of course, interest. Does it interest you? Pick the Paramount Packaged Account, action-packed checking, only at Metropolitan Federal Bank.
Fast-paced people prefer action-packed.
Coach John Hutchinson of Northwood decked out in the yellow suit and yellow tie, and his team is down by 5 as we start quarter number 3. There's a good look at Jim Bawley, the Cavalier head man. So it's Robinson, Dan Watson, Mahar, and Askew starting the second half for the Cavaliers. And Robinson with a behind-the-back pass, I think, to Mahar, but there's a 3-second count right before the turnover happened.
But again, Shane Robinson operating in traffic, that's really his forte, and most of the time he does a pretty nice job doing that.
And the more people around, the closer that dribble gets to the to the floor too. Never gets above the knees when he's down in there. There's Hassler, who was cold in the first half. Look for him maybe to start heating up. Overby along with Thorstensen. And that's Inger with the shot. And Inger with a basket. Also Rondesvet in the game as well for Northwood. Full court pickup by the Trojans. Watson beats it. We're going to Askew. Here's Robinson. He'll try for 3. That's off right side. Hassler with the board. Overby, the leading assist man. Back to Hassler. He drives back door, gets his feet tangled up, hits the floor, and draws a foul.
Paul Hassler obviously sensing some urgency in terms of getting involved in the offense, and a nice move at least to get himself a chance early here in the third quarter.
Well, the foul was not called in the act of shooting. So Hassler, instead of going to the free throw line, will go to the baseline now and trigger it into Overby. Lob pass. Enger wasn't ready for it. Askew picks it off.
We haven't seen Northwood convert a lob pass from Overby to Enger tonight. They were very successful with that on Thursday, and then Edgley shut them down nicely on that end of their offense last night. Something that Cavalier has taken notice of. They do not want that to happen against them. And here's Watson firing one over to Askew. Back now to Watson in traffic, then it goes off his foot. The Northwood really packing it pretty tightly down low. Hassler along with Thorstensen and Rondesvet doing a nice job down low. And hockey, Boston U leading the Sioux 2-1 in the second. The Sioux won last night 8-5. That's game 2 of their best of 3. On the drive, that's Overby drawing the foul. Overby will go to the free throw line now. I like that best 2 out of 3. I do too. I don't like that total goal stuff. Total goal would hurt the good team more often than not. There's a nice drive by Overby using his body to control the foul, and he will go to the line. Overby, a senior at 6'1", averages 9 points a game throughout the season. Missing that one, but 67% for the free throw line. Second one short. And the Tornadoes in their black jerseys now back on the offensive end. Askew is open. Northwood in this zone appearing to be a little more aggressive here in the early stages as Dan puts one up from 16. Will be pulled down by Rondesvet. Northwood got out rebounded by a couple in that first half, and one thing that zonals do is get their big people a little better chance to hit the boards. Enger rifles one over the head of Hassler. Mahar will slow things down now. Hassler tried to sneak in from the backside. And a timeout is taken by the Cavalier Tornadoes, and the score is 34-31. We'll be back to the B in a moment.
Interstate Seed knows you don't want your hard work to go to waste. That's why our research staff is committed to developing the finest quality seed available. We make sure our seed lines are genetically pure and compatible with your growing conditions. Quality. You demand it. And so does Interstate Seed.
You believe in the quality of Interstate Seed.
As you drive into the sedate North Dakota town of Mayville, you never expect to come upon a university nestled within the peaceful neighborhoods. Mayville State University, a foremost leader in North Dakota education, the oldest state college, fully accredited with outstanding faculty members, offering extensive fields of study, while the personal aspect of education remains intact. Mayville State University. Make it your choice.
Here's a young man kicking back. He doesn't seem to be too interested in our third place game. That's a fan of the championship matchup, I think. Quite a few of those here tonight. Robinson on top for Cavalier after taking the timeout. Back over to Dan. He'll try from 3. Enger has it stripped away by Mahar. Back to Dan. Bounce pass. Askew still working. And Cavalier working on the offensive side. Now Dan with it. Cross court to Watson. Robinson is fouled by Hassler as he tried to shuffle a pass in there. Robinson driving toward the basket. Actually tried to roll a pass down low. Now that might have been caused by a little bit of hand deflection by Paul Hassler. Well, we've seen a little bit of everything from Robinson as far as passes in this tournament. Dan will inbound and go to Robinson. He will try it from 3. Mahar offensive rebound. Askew wants to cast, and now Jason Askew picks up his 7th and 8th point of this game in the first 2 of the second half for Cavalier. Well, you give anybody 5 or 6 chances and they're going to convert, and that's what Cavalier had that time. Askew runs down the pass. That was Aaron at the 4:30 mark. Here's Robinson underneath. Doesn't go. Askew foul. Number 2 on Jason.
Askew's a very physical player. He likes to mix it up down low a little bit that time, and he was just trying to get at least a hand on the basketball, but instead he got it on the other hand.
Now Overby. Driving up and getting the basket is Shad Thorstensen. 11 points for Shad. He had 9 along with Rondesvet for 9 in the first half to lead his team in scoring. Askew goes for his second in a row, but Mahar off the head and shoulder fake is fouled from behind by Troy Inger.
Well, Inger got his money's worth on this one. He really goes up and hammers Mahar. Second on Troy Inger. Second team foul this half on Northwood.
Back into the game is Randy Steiger, number 33, junior at 6 foot. Mahar is a senior at 6 foot. The head and shoulder fake that he used to get open is something that when you're 6 foot and averaging almost 8 rebounds a game, you get good at. Getting defenders off their feet. Second one ripped down by Inger. 4-point Cavalier lead. Tornadoes by 5 at halftime. 3-point try for Rondesvet. That's his 4th of the game.
Well, after having a quiet Thursday and Friday, Aaron Rondesvet, it's either 3 or nothing for him tonight. 4 3-pointers and nothing else.
As he'll stay out there if they keep going in. Dan is blocked by Thorstensen. Overby tries the lob pass down to Thorstensen, and it's off of his hands and out of bounds. 3:18 to play in the third period, and Northwood has it down to a 1-point ball game.
Here's a simple fact. The S15 Jimmy from GMC Truck is ranked highest among all other domestic vehicles in its class for customer satisfaction in product quality and dealer service. Now, here it is in simple English. S15 Jimmy owners love their S15 Jimmys, period. The choice is simple. Get an S15 Jimmy, and you'll love it, because quality counts.
Right now, we're closing out 1990 model compact pickups and S Jimmys at your North Star GMC truck dealer.
There are 3 good reasons to buy a Bill Blass suit from Silverman's. 1, because it's a wise, quality investment. 2, because people pay attention when you wear it. 3, because you'll knock 'em dead at the wedding dance. The Bill Blass suit, all-American style with a life that will complement yours. At Silverman's, the suit experts, downtown Grand Forks.
You know, you could get cotton candy, hot dogs, popcorn, everything else at the snack bar, but hey, that one's yours. You own that thing.
You betcha.
Snack time here at the Dome.
That's the best piece of security a person has at that age.
Robinson will drive through everyone to bring it up himself, and now here's Dan back to Robinson. Shane in the lane, back out to Dan. That's a 3-pointer, yes. Steve Dan, just like Rondesvet, has made 4 baskets, all 3-pointers. Back to that 4-point game now as Northwood had it to 1 before that shot.
Cavalier now in a straight-up man-to-man defense.
And Dan is out on Inger, the strongest of the players. Even though he's a guard, he will go inside defensively. On the pick and roll, it's stolen away by Watson. 2-on-1. Bouncer is stopped by Hassler. Nice job on the fence by Hassler. Now he will bring it to the front court and slow things down. Under 2:30 to play in quarter number 3. No, he won't slow it down as it was picked off by Watson. Watson mugged by Overby.
A little true one-on-one as you see Watson and trying to, you know, fake one way and go the other way. Actually, it was a pretty good job defensively by Overby until he got him with the body.
I was sorry, Bill, but you're not shooting this one. It was pretty much the way it looked on that case there. Watson, who was hot from the free throw line in the first half, he has 4 of his 12 from there. And that one hangs off the right side. Bill Watson, 71% from the line on the season. And he gives his team a 5-point lead. Overby pushing the ball up the court. With the Tornadoes back. It's a three-point man so far, and the pass to Enger. Enger uses the backboard for 2. 8 points now for Troy Enger.
Enger in that first half didn't have a lot of opportunities. He only had 5 field goal attempts and hit on 2 of them.
Watson on the base, cut off by Enger. Minute 50. We're in quarter number 3. Watson, that's blocked by Thorstensen. So Shad Thorstensen has had a couple of defensive blocks in this game. Overby picks up the screen. Steiger didn't see it coming, and he picks up the personal foul.
And anytime you get a collision with these Cavalier players, you're most likely going to hit the floor. They're all pretty stocky, physical players.
A lot of that has to do to football as well. Hassler, baseline, pull-up jumper. Nope. Mahar with the board. Back now to Robinson, or to Watson. Dan wants the baseline, and he will put the jumper up in traffic. Watson falling away for the offensive rebound.
Well, Watson didn't have to contend with Enger there that time because Enger was trying to play defense on the other side of the blocks initially.
Hassler tries back door. He's in the lane and in trouble, but Overby. Steiger falls down. Back over now to Enger, who slices through a couple for the bucket. So Troy Enger now in double figures. Under a minute at 40 seconds to play. Down to a 3-point lead for the team with the ball. Mahar slapped out of bounds by Thorstensen. So the Tornadoes will now inbound. 30 seconds as Shane Robinson says, let's play for one, boys. Overby came flying out there, but went right past Robinson. Dan and Robinson now, 15 seconds. Here's Watson. In the lane, scoop shot. This one short at the 5-second mark. Overby will have to hurry. He gets it ahead to Rondersvet, and the three-point man so far in this game not able to get a shot off. So we played 3 quarters, and it's 43-40 as Cavalier has the lead.
Chevy's got the winning spirit, and we're proving it every day on the tracks and on the streets. Right now, nobody is winning like you are. Pick your favorite Chevy and get 6.9% APR financing for 48 months or up to $1,200 cash back. West Dakota, you're winning with spectacular 6.9% financing or cash back with Lumina, Caprice, Beretta, S10 pickups, and more. Get your share of the winning spirit at your West Dakota Chevy dealers.
School spirit. Nothing brings it out like a tournament. But top-notch coaching isn't just for sports. A lifetime of winning begins in the classroom with quality teaching for every boy and girl. Professional educators make the difference. Teachers give our children their winning edge, coaching them for a lifetime of victories. So let's invest in education and make winners out of all our students and the people who teach them.
Brought to you by the members of the North Dakota Education Association. Teachers who care about your children's future.
Folks, we're visiting with some young Northwood fans who they've been yelling, "Go White, go White." What's your name?
Tara Hansen.
How old are you?
10.
All right, she's 10. How old are you?
10.
And your name is what?
Christina Funset.
Okay, quickly, way over here. What's your name?
Bonnie Sundrell.
How old are you?
10.
All right, they think no problems for Northwood.
I wonder how old Cole was. He didn't tell us.
No. Come on, John, fess up.
Offensive end, Northwood now. They're down by 3. Enger will pump from 15. So Troy Enger now has 8 points here in the second half.
And he has really hit his range. He was just 2 of 5 at the half. This half, he's 4 of 4 from the field.
Watson over to Mahar, who goes back to Watson, and he's not shy. He'll get one to crawl over the front rim. So Bill Watson with 17.
Cavalier 38% from the field, Northwood 46% from the field. After 3 quarters, the Cavalier has made 9 free throws, Northwood just 1.
Boy, Watson blocks that one and takes it away from Hassler. Takes down one of the photographers as well.
Just an outstanding individual.
Leads the team in blocks, and there's a prime example of why. So every time that Northwood has inched a little bit closer, Cavaliers so far has been able to keep the lead. It's been down to 1 a couple of times. It's at 3 right now. Bounce pass into Enger. He spins and shoots it strong. Here's Robinson now, who slows it down. Robinson out front. Dan, whenever he gets the ball, they're on him fairly quickly. Same with Robinson as well. Or Watson, excuse me. Watson with it now. Back over to Dan. He'll go from 3. Rebound tipped away and out by Rondispet.
I'm sure Steve Dan would like to have that one back. He got a little pick down in the blocks, and actually there was no one close to him when he threw that shot up.
Well, there's Steve Askew will now want to go. Nope, it will not go in for him, and after keeping it alive, Enger pulls it down. Enger averaging just a smidgen under 10 points, or excuse me, 10 rebounds a game. Now he has the ball in the offensive end. Down low, Hassler posting up Robinson, drawing the foul, and going to the line.
Well, that might be a sign that Northwood really wants to try to get Hassler a little bit involved, as you see him posting up down low. And with his quickness, he might be able to create some things down low with Shane Robinson if he continues to post him up.
Well, Hassler has been frustrated from the outside. He has a 3-pointer and now a free throw. 4 points for him. But we mentioned what he has done for his team all year long, averaging 18 points. The second one is in. Back to that 1-point difference and picking up full court. The Trojans. There's it head to Dan now. Will Dan attack on the offensive side? Yes, he will. Draws the foul on Enger. There's a double team down low, and Enger will get the personal foul, number 2 on him. And Steve Dan to the free throw line for his first trip tonight.
Well, Troy Enger's presence much needed in this Northwood lineup. That was proved last night. Enger picked up his 5th foul against Edgeley when the game was just a 1-point ball game. And after that, Edgeley really assumed control of the basketball game, went on to win.
And something Edgeley's done in their first game as well. And we'll talk more about that as we set up our championship game. But Edgeley has been the 4th quarter team in this tournament. That one will not go, but Watson gets the rebound, and he draws the foul from Rondispet. So Dan's miss turns into a plus for the Cavaliers.
Both these teams already in a bonus situation in terms of total team fouls.
With 6 minutes left. Watson hits the front side of the 1-and-1. 6 out of 7 from the free throw line for Watson in this game. He has 18 points. Correction, make it 19. So Bill Watson back just about at his average, and Cavalier back up by 4. Here's Overby now. Looking inside, but not going back to Hassler.
Troy Enger really wants the basketball. He's clapping his hands, hoping that somebody will feed him inside. Now he gets it way out in the wing.
Dan's been bumping him hard, so he does go outside. Enger's just as effective with that shot as it goes in. Cavalier against this press has gotten the ball in the middle and attacking a dish to Watson. Shane Robinson doing what he does best. That's assist, averages over 8 a game. Finds the open man there.
That's why Cavalier does a nice job breaking the press, as they did against Dunseith. You've got Robinson's ball handling ability, plus Watson and Dan that cut across the middle nicely.
50-46. Hassler off the double clutch. No. But Overby there. So give that one to Brian Overby in the second effort. 6 now for Overby. And still flirting with taking the lead, but not quite. Trojans down. Robinson dribbles through the traffic again, shovels a pass over to Askew. Jason Askew with 10 points. The junior who started the second half with 4 points in this half as well. Overby to Enger. He's away from the basket, and there's Robinson on a hold as Hassler tried to post up down low.
That's a pattern we are seeing here in the fourth quarter, Lee, is Hassler trying to do anything to get things going in the right sync, get some kind of rhythm. And he's happy just to go to the free throw line.
And Robinson has 4 fouls. And Hassler has a free throw. To the front side of the 1-and-1. Gives Hassler 6 points at the 4:22 mark. Second one very similar to the first as it rolls down. So a stoppage in play with Cavalier still holding a slim 2-point margin. This is the third place game.
It's here at your Northland Ford dealer. Spring price meltdown. $119 for a bedliner. $6.9 financing. Or up to $1,500 cash back. It ends soon. Spring price meltdown at your Northland Ford dealer.
Call most places after hours and you may not get quite the answer you're looking for. At Norwest Banks, we don't think service should stop at 5 o'clock. That's why we're now on call 24 hours a day to handle your banking needs. Norwest Banks. Come to expect the best.
2 periods complete in Boston tonight, and Boston U leading UND 3-2.
And right here with 4:20 left in the third place game, it's Robinson on the fly. He goes ahead to Askew, and he is fouled. A couple of guys flying at Askew. He just kind of ducked. It was Sorensen and Overby both there.
Well, Robinson had a couple assists there in the last couple of minutes, going for his 3rd straight here, and I think he enjoys that part of his game as much as anything. Shane Robinson dishing the basketball off.
That was number 3 on Overby, and Askew was on the line. And that bucket gives Askew his highest output scoring-wise in this tournament at 11, at 10 and 8 so far. Second one trickles in as well. Back up to a 4-point lead for the Tornadoes. Overby goes over to Hassler. Askew out on him, and that's where the foul is called on Jason Askew, as Hassler has really made an effort to go to the basket.
And he's hitting them at the free throw line. He's hit 4 straight, and at this juncture with 4:05 left in a 4-point ball game, Northwood will definitely take the free throws and stop the clock.
If you're down, the best way to stay in is at the line. Also a great way to take the lead back if you don't miss those free throws. That one doesn't go as well, but Maher is there. 4 minutes now to play in our third place game. Still to come, our championship contest. A 1990 State B champion will be crowned. It will be either Edgley or Dunseat. Watson way off. And Overby. That's a long three-point attempt. And Rondes-Bet, well, if he makes them, we're counting for 3.
5 3-pointers on the night, and Northwood has pulled even now at 54.
High ball game. It's taken the Trojans a while. Dan now will try to give his team the lead back, and it won't go as Enger gets the board. And the Northwood fans are on their feet. Their team now has a chance to take the lead in this ball game. Hassler lobs one to Enger, who tries to get the pass, but it's knocked away by Watson. That was not a shot. Going for the pass was Enger. Watson's man was open naturally as he came over on the double team. And it slapped out of bounds and controlled, or excuse me, still in the possession of Cavalier. Dan to Watson. Watson a diagonal pass to Askew. Askew has it go in and out. Same situation. Northwood with the chance to take the lead on this possession.
That Askew-Hassler matchup really favors Northwood, I think. Hassler has a lot more speed than Askew.
And that's where they were trying to get the ball, too, as it went over everyone's head and out of bounds at the 2-minute and 30-second mark in this game. We're still all tied, 54 all.
It's the one that gets picked up, looked up, thumbed on, drummed on, taped up, scraped up, grab that, jab that. It's the one that gets thumbed through, flipped through, clocked down, dropped down, written on, bidden on, used a lot, choose the lot. Or take a look, man, upon this book, man. Was this the one that gets you?
U.S. West Direct.
Since October, you've been able to tune in to KTHI News 11 on the road with KMAV Radio 1520 AM and 105.5 FM at 5 and 6 o'clock.
Now we're welcoming KQWV 1550 AM to News 11 at 5 o'clock, KQLX 890 AM to News 11 at 6, and KQLX 106 FM to News 11 at 6 and 10 o'clock.
Together with these fine radio stations, we'll bring you the local news, weather, and sports you want when you're away from your TV set. Join us on radio on News 11 Advantage.
Well, Cavalier has enjoyed the lead for the bulk of this contest, but at 2:30 left, it's all tied up.
Tornadoes led at 15-14 after the first quarter, 34-29 at half, and 43-40 at the end of 3. They have held the lead for most of the game, but Northwood has always been close within striking distance.
So the next bucket is the one that puts the team ahead. We'll see if the Tornadoes in the black can do it. Robinson, Watson, Dan playing catch on the right side. Robinson over to Dan. Dan on the drive, tries for the pass, and it's knocked out of bounds by Enger.
Good job by Troy Enger, and he really wanted that basketball to go the other way. He was hoping maybe for a deflection off Dan.
Out front, Robinson. Askew over to Dan, who inbound and then went to the wing for 3.
Well, that's the shot Cavalier was looking for. They tried to get it to Dan a couple other times in the opposite wing, the near wing. He was there, but he didn't have a shot. He drained that one.
Sometimes you forget about the guy who inbounds it. There's that Hassler-Askew matchup. Hassler with the offensive rebound, Askew with the foul. To the guard, going down low. Oh, it's on Watson, excuse me. I thought the push was on Askew, but it was Watson. That's number 1 on him. Would have been Askew's 4th, I believe. Hassler at the line. Earns the bonus. His 9th point.
6 of 7 from the free throw line for Paul Hassler, all coming here in the 4th quarter.
On the season, 71%. And a timeout is taken by John Hutchinson of Northwood, I believe. 1:40 left in this one. That free throw by Hassler gave the Trojans the lead.
More than 1 billion barrels of North Dakota crude oil have been produced since oil was discovered in 1951. And more than $1.2 billion has been paid in crude oil severance taxes, helping to fund the state's essential services, including up to 40% of state aid to education. In addition to taxes, thousands of oil and gas industry jobs and careers are available for North Dakotans. North Dakota's oil and gas industry, building for a brighter future.
A Big Mac, please.
Yeah, and get him a large fries.
What?
Well, you want to play McDonald's fries surprise, right?
I hadn't thought about it.
Well, it's easy. Just buy a large or a medium fries or a hash brown, then peel off the sticker. You could win $10,000 or fly anywhere in the world Delta Airlines goes.
I never win anything.
Even a yams for brains like me wins every time.
I won an Egg McMuffin for 69 cents.
I know.
How?
I got eyes in the back of my head.
Cavalier with the lead, has the basketball. And the Trojans drop back on the defense. Dan double team, now to Watson, who is also double teamed. So Northwood taking a few chances. And you see the time remaining there. It's a one-point ball game. Dan tries to make it a three-point game, and he does. Steve Dan, 18 points now for him, 59 of 56. The bulk of the game has been just like this as Hassler goes underneath a hook shot.
Well, Hassler got the bucket, but Cavaliers made a defensive switch. It's Shane Robinson now defending Hassler.
Robinson has 4 fouls as well. 45 seconds. Down to 40. Askew. Here's Dan. Watson. He has the lane, and he goes to the hole, drawing the foul at 31 seconds.
Perseverance, the word to describe that effort by Bill Watson, as he was turned aside initially by Thorstensen, but kept with it as both Thorstensen and Rondesvet are down there defensively.
That foul number 4 on Chad Thorstensen. So a couple of big free throws now for Bill Watson. His team leads by 2. Eight of 9 so far for Watson from the line. Give him another one. And there's the timeout on the court. With 31 seconds left, it's now 61 to 58. So a couple of big free throws. So it gives you that three-point situation to where if the three-pointer goes in, it only ties and you don't take the lead with it. So there's a couple of big ones.
It is a big one because now what Cavalier has done is forced Northwood into a 2-possession situation in which they need 2 possessions with the ball to try to take the lead. You know, if they get a bucket here, they're tied, and they're still in a situation where if they don't get a turnover quickly on the inbounds pass, they're forced into fouling, in which Cavalier would go to the line again.
31 seconds and left in this one, so it's not like your back is against the wall, because 31 seconds is still plenty of time to get the 2 possessions you need. It's another thing, of course, to make them.
Seen a lot of good free throw shooting. You talked about Bill Watson. Eric Buckeye has shot well from the free throw line in this tournament, 18 of 20. Tyler Lamp, 11 of 13. Rex Honeyman, 9 of 11. So a lot of good guys that cash in from the line.
Hassler will give now to Overby at the 26-second mark. Overby. Here's Hassler. Overby being harassed from three-point range. Clock winding down and a travel. Big turnover. That's a costly one. That will give possession back to the Tornadoes.
Northwood, I think, maybe just a hair too cautious with that possession of the basketball. I think that you'd want to not crucial to look for the 3. They had 26 left.
Watson breaks, and that may break the back as well as Watson gets the breakaway. Here's Overby at the 2-second mark. It will roll off, and the Tornadoes from Cavalier take home third place, 63 to 58.
Again, Lee, I think that last possession, Northwood took the ball with 26 seconds left. If you don't get a 3, I think, on 1 or 2 looks, and you look for a good 2, because if you convert, you're still just 1 down with quite a bit of time left.
Took it, especially when you were talking about the 2 possession. situation. So the final 63-58. So Cavalier joins Minnewacan and Ray as teams winning their last contest of the season. Let's go to John Cole.
John, I thought your club played extremely well tonight. It's a tough setback.
Well, we just really had tough luck shooting tonight. I thought we had good shots, especially the first half, and Paul Hassler is a heck of a shooter, and he just didn't to go down tonight. Pleased with our overall play. Just we didn't shoot well.
Congratulations on a wonderful season. Let's go to Rob Meltzer.
All right, John, thanks. We're with Bill Watson of Cavalier and Coach Jim Bally. First, Bill, you guys have something to prove after last night. Did you come out and show them tonight?
Yeah, last night it was hard to take because we only got beat because, well, we got beat because they're hot shooting, and tonight we had we were more relaxed, but we had a lot to prove for ourselves.
Can you guys leave feeling pretty good with third place?
Yeah, a lot of people didn't expect us to get this far, so we're pretty happy.
All right, good year, Bill. Jim, I think your kids showed a lot of character tonight, didn't they?
Well, I think they did. We were loose when we came out, and we even made a game plan for the third and fourth place game, and it really paid off. We held Enger to 4 points the first half and came out. We showed some patience that I wasn't sure we could do, and we're very happy with third.
Boy, I'll tell you, they made a good hard run at you. A good ball club you had to beat tonight.
Yeah, you bet. Northwood's a very fine team, and you know, it was, like I said, a very loose game for both of us, and it was exciting. And you know, Steve hit that three-pointer, very crucial point, and we hit a couple free throws down the end, and it's just a good win for us.
Congratulations on a great year, Jim.
Thank you.
All right.
It's presentation time, and now to Terry Jelmstead.
Number 14, Trent Myron. Number 20, Aaron Gabrielson. Number 22, Tim Gronley. Number 24, Sean Rodriguez. Number 30, Chad Thorstensen. Number 32, Brian Overby. Number 34, Aaron Rondesvet. Number 40, Randy Tragaton. Number 42, Mark Cosmo. Number 44, Troy Engler. Assistant coach, Randy Hychek. And the head coach of the Trojans, John Hutchison. For the third place Tornadoes. Cheerleaders, Becky Johnson, Wendy Padden, Joan O'Hara, Angie Williams, Kristen McKnight, Debbie Padden. Players, number 11, Shane Robinson. Number 13, J.P. Parento. Number 15, Bill Watson. Number 21, John Benaway. Number 23, Mike Mahar. Number 25, Dale Thorlockson. Number 31, John Serrala. Number 33, Randy Steiger. Number 35, Steve Dan. Number 41, Jason Askew. Number 43, Larry Kemp. Number 45, John Kippen. Assistant coach, Rod Oxendahl. And the head coach, Jim Bolly. This year's fourth place award goes to John Hutchison's Northwood Trojans. And our 1990 boys Class B third place winner, Jim Bolly's Cavalier Tornadoes.
Congratulations, guys. Good job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So there's only one prize left, and that's the big one. The championship prize. This first place game still coming up, but the third place contest won again by Cavaliers Tornadoes 63-58.
Cavalier closes the year 21-6, and Northwood closes the year 21-5. A final look at the stats. Northwood 22 of 47, 47%. Cavalier also shot 41%. I think the key there for Cavalier was that they held Troy Enger to 4 points in the first half, because he finished 7 of 11 from the field and 14 points, but they held him down in the first half.
Rebounding wise, dead even. Northwood and Cavalier with 30 each. Trojans with a few more turnovers, but Cavalier doing it on the scoreboard in the main category, 63-58.
Individually for Northwood, Rhonda Svett led him with 15, 5 3-point field goals. Enger with 14 and Hassler with 12, 9 of those 12 coming from the free throw line. Bill Watson, last night he had 28. He followed it up tonight with 25. And a tremendous tournament, 59 points for Watson. Steve Dan had 18 tonight, so he finishes with 75 points, and as of right now, he's the leading scorer in the tournament through 3 games. And Jason Askew off the bench, my pick for the 6th man of the tournament so far, 12 on the night this evening.
That's right, Jason did a fine job. But we still have a lot to talk about as we're between games, so third place has been divvied up. We have a championship contest, about 24 minutes away or so. We'll be back to the Minot Dome in a moment.
Chevy's got the winning spirit, and we're proving it every day on the tracks and on the streets. Right now, nobody is winning like you are. Pick your favorite Chevy and get 6.9% APR financing for 48 months or up to $1,200 cash back. West Dakota, you're winning with spectacular 6.9% financing or cash back with Lumina, Caprice, Beretta, S10 pickups, and more. Get your share of the winning spirit at your West Dakota Chevy dealers.
Getting things ready for planting can be easier than it used to be, because just as you've kept up with the times, so has Napa. Today, Napa is good for a lot more than filters and batteries. Count on us for most of those equipment needs, from belts to PTO parts, hydraulic cylinders and hoses to disc bearings. So go ahead and take that winter inventory. Then come to your nearby Napa store and let us help you get off to a better start this spring. We're Napa, where there are no unimportant parts.
Welcome back to the Dome, and one of the big prizes for a senior basketball player in the state is Mr. Basketball, and there's 3 finalists this year.
Ron Stefanowitz of Crosby Divide County, also Ron Allard of Williston, and along with Greg Stevens of Fargo South, and John Cole is with one of the finalists right now.
All right, Dan Hammer, thank you very much. Rob, of course, a standout from Divide County, my neck of the woods. You're feeling a little bit nervous right now. It's a chance you could come up with quite an honor in perhaps 2 hours from now. Mr. Basketball, how's it feel?
I'm not too nervous. I guess it's already decided, so just have to wait now.
You've known about it for about 3 days now. You've had an outstanding career at Divide County and All-State last year. You're the Maroons' all-time leading scorer. It's got to be a little sad that high school basketball days are over, huh?
Yeah, I would have liked to end it playing in the state tournament.
I know you would.
But I guess we had a pretty good year besides that.
Would this be the capper if you could win Mr. Basketball and a basketball crazy state like this one?
It'd be nice. I'd really like it, but just have to see, I guess.
Sure. 4 years ago, when it all began, could you ever envision that through some hard work and determination that you could be a nominee for such a fine award? Was that something you'd never really thought of?
I guess I never really thought of it until this year, and I guess it'd be nice to get it, but...
One avenue that the guys touched on was that Ronnie Allard from Williston is one of the nominees as well, and of course Ronnie from Epping. You two have played against each other before, so you're good friends, right?
Yeah, we've played against each other and we played with each other at tournaments, so we know each other pretty well.
Rob, I want to wish you the best of luck, and I guess we'll have to see what happens. Huh? You've had a great career.
Thanks a lot.
You bet. Guys?
Well, thank you very much, John, and we'll just have to wait and see if Stefanowicz is the name on the plaque. Of course, that'll be announced after the championship game. And one of the two teams in the championship contest, the Dragons from Dunseith, it is their third trip to the state title, and this year's team making a 90 behind their name. And the first time that the Dragons made a trip to the Class B was back in 1972. And right now, John Haggerty takes some time out to talk with a star player from that 72 team. His name, Don Olson.
We were rather stunned when we got to go because we have really good fans there and they followed us all over. And we lost twice during the year. Then we won our regional games and got down here and got beat, like I said, in Berthel in the first round. And the memory that we have is being awed by being able to come. And we were not real big, we were fast. We had a lot of defensive players, not unlike Dunseith is right now. They score well. We scored about 75 a game, gave up 67 or something like that. But we weren't as tall as these guys are. Scary to come to a state tournament.
How do you compare maybe a state tournament from 72 to one of now?
In 1972, we had maybe 3 excellent players, and not as well balanced. Everyone was kind of a specialist. We had a dribbler, and we had somebody that could shoot, somebody that could rebound. Now it seems like the kids nowadays can do it all. You know, they take control. Everybody's their team player, more than just one certain person.
Do you think it was more of a wide open game back then?
No, this three-point thing was wide open. That was very controlled. And, the coaching staff was either you take a good shot. Now, to me, of course, I'm old school, but it's a three-point play. If you're behind by 9, it's not a good shot, but they use it all the time.
When you look back, what are some of your fondest memories?
I think the never giving up. I mean, I didn't have the most talent, but I had enough that I would always follow every play on a fast break in case there was a miss. And that, in turn, if you're going to go anywhere in sports, for that matter, you have to be aggressive and you have to follow through. And the things that I remember most is getting here. And the way it was is everybody was aggressive and worked together, and we were team players. And everybody was happy. I mean, there was no fighting. There was a very unselfish team.
Well, this year's Dragon squad also a very unselfish team, and we'll get a look at them in a little while. But first, let's have you take a look at this.
Sitting in the anchor's chair instead of walking in the shoes of a reporter has been a real change for me, but I feel confident anchoring because I know what a great team of reporters and photographers we have at News 11. The best around, I believe.
We've had a tremendous response to our News 11 Primetime News Hours, where we have a panel of experts on a particular subject, and we give viewers the chance to call these experts up and ask them the questions they want answered, as opposed to the ones I might want to ask them. That really gets people involved, and the phones ring off the hook.
You know, no single TV newscast can tell you everything. There just isn't enough time. But we believe that we should tell you everything we can find out about the stories we choose to cover on a given day. And having 2 early newscasts gives us a greater opportunity to provide more stories, perhaps with a little more information in each. That's a News 11 advantage.
More news, more often from hard-working reporters and photographers. Definitely a News 11 advantage.
Well, Dan, if you take a look in the back of the program at the number of state championships in the state of North Dakota, the school is Minot Model.
Yeah.
And John Haggerty has more with some of the alumni from that school.
That's right, Lee. You know that when you look at that scorebook, they have 5 titles that leads the whole state of North Dakota as far as its Class B titles. I'm with some elite company right here. To my right, Henry Milke played on 3 of those teams, and Dick Walker from Minot played on 2 of those teams. Let's talk with Dick first. Dick, you were on the 47 and 48 teams. Talk a little bit about what it was like playing basketball back then.
Oh, it's real good, John. We had a pressing defense, really hustled, really threw the ball around. The first pass was always down court for that easy layup.
So how many did you average a night now? I bet you were lighting it up, huh?
I was kind of a second stringer for that 47.
What about the 8 team then?
More of a defense. Yeah.
Hard worker, huh?
Oh, absolutely.
Hard-nosed kid. Good to hear. Thanks for talking to us, Dick. Henry Milke, now I understand about you, if they had a 3-point stripe back then, you really would have had some scoring done for yourself. Tell me a little bit about your 3 titles. Not many people say they have 3 titles to their credit.
Well, I guess I'm real proud of it. I was fortunate enough as a freshman to play on we had a good senior-oriented team that we went down to Fargo and won the state championship. And then my last 2 years in high school, we had a real good ball team. I think we were 46-0 for the 2 seasons. We had a big team back then. We started 6'6", 6'4", 6'3", 6'2", and about 5'11". So we were a big team. We like to think that we had a pretty good ball team back then.
Now, what about the record? I mean, Minot Model, of course, isn't around. They've been gone since 1968. You figure that'll fall soon?
Well, I look at it like this. Records are made to be broken. You feel a little bad when they go, but it'll take a while for somebody to break it, but somebody's going to break it somewhere down the line.
Now, did I hit the nail on the head talking about your outside shooting? They tell me you were unbelievable.
Well, I don't know how good I was. I used to like to put them up there from the outside. I wasn't afraid to shoot the ball, I guess.
Yeah, come on now. They're supposed to get better as years go on. You're not supposed to downplay it. See, you get him alone with you, and he really lets you have it. But he get you on TV, now you're modest, right?
Well, I don't know. I think we could shoot the ball pretty good back then, too. I think the three-point line has added a lot to basketball. I really liked it when it come in from referee, and I wish we'd have had it when we played. But we didn't. We did play with what we went with. But the three-point line has added a lot to basketball in the state of North Dakota, all over the nation.
Hey, thanks a lot. Minot Model, sports dynasty in North Dakota. I got 2 of the best right here. Now back to you, Lee and Dan.
Well, it was definitely a dynasty, and they controlled basketball for a 5-year stretch. They won titles in 47, 48, 50, 52, and 53. Now, they're 5 state titles, as we said, tops in the state. The team with the next most titles, Hillsboro. The Burros have 4 state championships, their last back in 1981.
Well, whenever you have a team, it takes outstanding individuals. And the person we're going to take a look at now, it's not uncommon through high school ranks, especially in the Class B side of things, to play in 2 different sports.
Sure, 3 or 4 sometimes.
Well, it's a little something extra to excel in both of those sports. That's quite an achievement, and that's precisely what Jim Ramey of Linton has been doing for the Lions. Now, whether it's on the field or on the mat, Bill Conlon tells us that this Linton High School student athlete is double trouble.
His numbers are impressive. In the past 2 seasons, 60 wins against 2 losses, 52 wins in a row, 29 by pin, and for the 2nd straight year, Jim Ramey became the North Dakota Class B heavyweight champion by physically dominating his opponents and wrestling like a champion.
He does have good quickness. He does have good technique. He's got long reach that a heavyweight needs, so he doesn't get himself in trouble, and he's able to control people. But I'm going to come back to the idea that he's a state champ. He has a lot of pride in being a state champ.
Pride. I really didn't want anybody to beat me because last year it was considered a fluke that I had won. I had beaten the #1 seed 2 weeks before the state tournament, and he was still seated ahead of me. So this year was just pride. Prove everybody that I was deserving of the championship last year and that I could do it this year.
And Ramey's winning of the championship came much sweeter in that he won in convincing style with a pin.
It's kind of a symbol of authority, you know. I won with a pin. There's no controversy about that. You know, people can't say, well, if this happened, if that happened, it was pinned and it was over. So it kind of means a little bit more to me that it ended that way.
Along with his success on the mat, Jim has had success on the field. He was named to the All-State football team as a defensive tackle.
I love football. I love the fact that when you hit somebody, it's a legal hit. You can't hit somebody in like basketball, and you really can't hit somebody in wrestling. But football, I mean, it's all out war out.
After his battles in sports, this senior still finds time for other school activities.
He's in drama. He's in speech. He's the editor of the school newspaper, and he was homecoming king. You know, he's involved in a lot of things, which is great. And you might think that he spreads himself a little thin, but he finds time to do a good job at everything, and he's going to be missed.
Reporting for the NBC North Dakota Sports Network, I'm Bill Conlon.
Well, Jim Ramey, an outstanding student athlete, and at halftime of our championship game, Dan, we'll have an opportunity to get a look at plenty of champions in their own right.
Yeah, it's the Parade of Champions, a real special honor for Class B athletes around the state who each year gather here at the state championship night to be honored in front of their fans and their teammates. We're going to break away now. Coming up, we'll preview Dunseith and Edgeley for the state championship.
You'll never make it. $7.58, Jeff. 2-minute warning. Couldn't do it, huh? Get a sausage and egg biscuit, biscuits and gravy, or bacon and egg biscuit for just 99 cents at Hardee's. Go for it.
My spending was out of control.
We couldn't even pay the minimums on our charge cards.
I was a wild man.
We thought about bankruptcy, but it stays on your record 10 years.
All of a sudden, I realized I needed help.
A friend suggested Consumer Credit Counseling Service.
They were great.
CCCS showed us how to get out of debt.
Consumer Credit Counseling Service is a non-profit organization that can help you solve your debt problems. It's completely confidential.
My life is so much better since I went to Consumer Credit Counseling Service.
Welcome back to the Minot State Dome. Brian Bohr is one of the most talented players that the state has produced in recent years, but he's yet to fulfill his potential. On our series, Where Are They Now?, Rob Meltzer takes a look at the former Page High School star.
There's nothing better than this. We wanted this. At the start of the season, we came out and we did it. We proved we were the best in Division I.
Yes, Brian Bohr was thrilled about getting a chance to play at state 3 years ago. And now when he looks back, Brian recalls his emotions the week of the tournament when his Page Panthers took 3rd place.
I was very nervous, you know, and I figured all the pressure on me, you know, I had to perform and I wanted the team to do well, you know, and it was really tough that week, but then after the first couple minutes, the first game, break a sweat, things were pretty easy.
Irv Iniger welcomed Brian into NDSU's program, and Bohr redshirted his first season. Last year, Brian's play during his freshman campaign was limited to 8 minutes a game, and it left him wondering about his future.
The reason that Coach told me was I wasn't a complete player and I wasn't doing some things defensively, and you know, I can see his point there, but I thought I was getting the job done, and I just wasn't given the chance that I expected.
Bohr decided to transfer to Minot State, where he practiced with the team this season. He still has 3 years of eligibility left, and Brian feels he has something to prove.
I think I do to myself. I don't think I have anything to prove to anybody else, and I don't want to have to prove anything to anybody else, but down deep inside, I got a lot to prove.
Brian will be reunited with his brother Brent this fall, and the Bohrs hope their best ball is yet to come here at the Minot Dome. I'm Rob Meltzer for the North Dakota NBC Sports Network. And now joining me, the man who coached Brian Bohr in high school, John Lang, the head coach of the Page Panthers. John, try and describe what kind of player Brian was in high school and just what he meant to your team.
Well, Brian, Rob, was just a super intense basketball player. He had one thing on his mind when he went on the basketball court, and that was to do anything and everything he could to win the ball game. And Brian was one of those kind of guys that I suppose Dick Vitale would say, at least for us in high school, was a PTP. He was really a primetime player. He played his best. I think he had some of his best games every time when the game was on the line.
The last few years, Brian's come under some criticism, lack of defense, lack of team play. Is it fair or unfair criticism, would you say?
Well, it's hard to say. Everybody says Class B doesn't play defense, but I don't think that's always necessarily true. I think it's a defensive difference between what we do in high school and what they want in college. Brian certainly was able to rely on his quickness a lot more in high school, and when you get into college, everybody's just as quick as you are. So you know, I think there's some to both sides of it. I think there's some truth to it that he didn't work as hard on defense as he did on offense, but then I think there's some unfairness to it too.
John, what's your gut feeling? Is Brian going to find a home here at Minot State and show what a great ball player he is?
Well, I hope the best for Brian. He was a super athlete for us, a super kid, and I wish him nothing but the best. I hope he does. I hope that he can find the right kind of magic here at Minot and really make it happen for himself, because he's a good kid and he deserves it.
Interestingly, Brian Bohr will be playing for his uncle, Dick Limke, who is the coach at Minot State.
Well, we're between games, and we have one basketball contest of the high school variety left here in the state of North Dakota, as Edgeley and Dunseith are still warming up for their championship tilt. It's time to go back to our local stations now for this news break.
This is a KTHI News 11 update.
Good evening and a happy St. Patrick's Day to you. It's possible that tomorrow's first free elections in East Germany could also be its last. That's because one of the key issues is reunification, which is supported by all the major parties. But before polls open, concerns about fair play are being heard. Opposition parties are warning that the supposedly disbanded secret police may try to vote several times for communist candidates. A 21-year-old St. Paul man was killed when someone opened fire